So, this is my first attempt on trying to give you an update on my hormone replacement therapy journey. Obviously, I did not realize that the video was recorded in slow motion, the story of my life. So, here's the retake.
Welcome back, friend. I'm thrilled that you can join me. And today I'm going to give you an update on my HRT journey. For those who don't know, I started hormone replacement therapy because I'm experiencing perimenopausal symptoms. And I actually decided to try the combi patch. And so I do have a video describing why I decided to start this, the dosage I'm using, some of the precautions, and so forth. I told you guys that I would give you a 2-week update, but I decided, you know what, let's wait a little bit longer because sometimes it does take a while for medication to kick in. So I decided to wait 4 full weeks. And listen, I'm not gonna be around the bush. We're gonna get straight to it, okay? What were the benefits for me and did it outweigh the risks? Well, I'm thrilled to say that for me it did, okay? The first benefit off the bat was that I didn't experience any hot flashes, okay? That is huge because I typically experience a few right before my cycle starts. Okay, so I wanted to wait till I had my cycle again and I didn't experience any hot flashes. The second benefit that I experienced is that I didn't experience the mood swings that I tend to get, especially right before my period. Okay, so I was more like cool like a cucumber, okay? Perfection doesn't live here, right? We have our days, but I noticed a huge shift where I felt more mentally stable. All right. And that is like a huge thing, especially if you have a family, right? And it's like, you don't want people walking on eggshells when you're about to have your cycle. You know who you are. Ukone for my zills in the back. Every now and then I break down in Haitian Creole. The third benefit is that I had better sleep. I typically get up maybe once or twice in the middle of the night. For what reason, I don't know. Ever since I started perimenopause. And so sleeping better makes a world of a difference. Many times we have difficulty managing our moods and we don't realize how connected that is to sleep. I remember one of my clients was a doctor, and she was like, I'm considering medication to help with my mood swings. And I asked her, about how much sleep you get per night? She said 3 to 4 hours. I was like, can we try 7 to 8 at least for 2 weeks before we consider medication? So I prescribed her 7, 8 hours, and she was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I'm a busy mom, I'm a doctor, I'm doing research, the list goes on, try to keep the house together. I said, I don't care if the house falls apart. You need to make it happen. Guess what? 2 weeks later, she was like, you know what, Jenny? I'm actually okay. My mood swings has decreased and I'm much better. I think I'll be fine. I don't need the medication. What a world of a difference. I mean, consider toddlers, right? You ever meet that toddler that didn't take a nap? Okay. Listen, when my kids missed their nap, I would have to excuse people, say, listen, I apologize because so and so missed their nap, right? We're no different. I mean, we can hide it better, but inside we're having an adult temper tantrum where we're not getting enough sleep and we're hanging on a thread. And so sleep off the bat, if you struggle with mood swings, maybe related to sleep issues, not necessarily perimenopause and a shift in hormones, right? And so consider that. All right, so let's talk about the cons because let's be realistic. With pros come cons. But before we get to the cons, if you haven't done so already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe, like, and definitely share this video. Okay, that way we can work together on bringing awareness to perimenopause. Too many times we suffer in silence and lack of knowledge, right? Trying to talk here, but lack of knowledge does lead to part of that suffering. So make sure to share with a girlfriend, a cousin, an aunt, and etc. Yeah, and I find out only one third of my viewers are subscribed. Help your girl to eat, okay? And for those who want to grab a tea or a hoodie to bring awareness, know that what? Life does not end with my period, period. Okay, we can thrive. And I do have videos on our hashtag Monday Menopause playlist to help you thrive. Because you might say, okay, that sounds good for you, but I want to consider different options instead of going to medication. Excuse me. And so we do have videos that talk about herbs that you can use to help you alleviate perimenopause symptoms, various diets to alleviate inflammation and decrease symptoms, because food is medicine. So it's not a one size fit all approach. And so I will place a link somewhere to the hashtag Monday Menopause playlist. All right. And as always, consult with your doctor, right? Don't say because Jenny told me to do it. I'm be like, no, boo. Consult with your doctor. And I want to shout out my OBGYN, sending you much love. Thank you for helping me to just do research with me, figuring out what works best for my body, because we're all different, right? And so you want to make sure that you find a doctor that is menopause friendly. And I will place a link in the description of 1,000 doctors that vary by city and state in the US that are menopause friendly. So if you're outside the US, you will have to do further research. But let's get to the cons. I know you want to hear it. Thanks for being patient. So what are the downfalls, right? For one, I applied a circular patch and I would have to replace it twice a week. I noticed that when I would take the patch off, there was like this circular mark or residue, sticky residue on my skin. And so I developed a routine to combat that, because I don't know about you, I'm not trying to have all these circular marks or scars develop on my body, okay? And so what I would do after removing the patch, jump into the shower, I got like a sugar scrub, and you can actually buy one or create one yourself. You just need some sugar and some oil, okay? I would use like a light oil, like jojoba oil, something like that. And then I would massage it like in a circular motion, okay? And after getting out the shower and patting my body dry, place some cocoa butter. If you don't have cocoa butter, use shea butter, Vaseline, grease, etc. Get something greasy and be generous, okay? Lather it on, let it sit for like a minute or two, and then get a dry washcloth and rub it in circular motion. It will just come off, okay? And so that's a routine that I developed to combat that issue, okay? The second pitfall, and I don't know, depending on what you would describe a pitfall, is that the patch didn't alleviate all of my menopause symptoms. It alleviated most of them, but one symptom still remained. Okay, so one symptom of perimenopause is prolonged periods. So typically my periods would last between 5 to 6 days, but the last one was like, we're gonna stay here till about 8. It wasn't really heavy towards the end, but it was still lingering. And so for those who don't know, that is a sign of perimenopause, prolonged and inconsistent periods, meaning like one time your period may come when it typically does, the next time it's like, surprise, I'm coming early or I'm coming late. And so that was realistically what the second con was. So at the end of the day, I'm okay with that, because I can't expect, one medication to solve all my perimenopause issues. And this is why it's important to have a holistic approach. And so making sure that you incorporate diet, right, or nutritional plans, exercise, movement, rest, and the list goes on, especially if you're taking hormone replacement therapy, because research shows that blood clots do increase more with the pill than the patch, but even with the patch, there is a slight chance of developing blood clots. So, with that in mind, movement is so important. Okay. And so, how are we feeling today? You know, I like to pull out my feeling pillow. It's like my lovey here, right? It's important to check in with your feelings, to journal during this stage because the mood swings, affect us mentally. And so, how are you feeling today? Well, I'm feeling all right. It's the weekend. I'm looking forward to spend having some downtime. So I'm feeling well. All right, it's not really feeling like me. I am feeling optimistic. I am feeling optimistic. And so check in with yourself, journal periodically. I do have a link on journal prompts that are based on the cognitive behavioral therapy method if you're interested in journaling that way. But you can do a gratitude journal, you can freestyle, all in the above. Okay. And so for those who don't know, I just started a weekly podcast. It's a live podcast every Thursday. So you want to tune in. It's going to be like around noon, lunchtime, Eastern Standard Time. Okay. And I'm going to be answering your questions. And so the first one live was about, don't tell me I have a brain fart. It was about how to deal with, I can't remember. That's horrible, but I'm gonna link it. It's early, guys. You know I'm an early bird. I got up and was like, I'm gonna start this video. I can't believe I can't remember. Oh, how to journal. How to journal. With the new year coming up, it's important to set goals. It's not even how to journal, how to set goals. Okay, let me fella. Let me get myself together. How to set goals that actually work. Okay, a lot of times we set goals that are not realistic, that are not attainable, that doesn't have deadlines, and we just set the goals, but we don't set the system on how to meet those goals. And the system involves lifestyle changes. And many times the goal is so big and we don't break it down to quarterly goals. And so definitely check out that video. The next slide, I'm going to be talking about how to heal from trauma and then probably do something about seasonal depression. And so you want to make sure to hit the notification bell once you subscribe so you don't miss those lives. Now, the next video on our hashtag Monday Menopause playlist is going to be a very extensive video because in 12 minutes, I'm going to list 100 symptoms. I know. You heard right. 100 symptoms of perimenopause and menopause. Why? Because sometimes we may go to the doctor and not have the typical perimenopause symptoms. And so you may not have the hot flashes, the mood swings, but you may have some symptoms that seem very odd. Okay, like the burning of the mouth. Believe it or not, that is a symptom. You're going to the dentist is like, you're fine, and you don't realize that's an unusual symptom of perimenopause. Okay, so some of you guys might feel invalidated. You're going to the doctor feeling like you're a hypochondriac because they're saying you're fine, but you're experiencing these unusual symptoms. Well, this video is going to help you. And so make sure to tune in, get ready to take some notes, and I'll see you then. As always, thank you so much for watching and comment on what you're going to take away. If you reach the end, that really helps me as a content creator. You can comment hashtag Monday Menopause. That way I know you watched it to the end. All right. Much love, y'all. Peace.